You want to know my secret? There's always a rumbly in my tumbly.
Oh, no.
Oh, there's a rumbly in my tumbly. I'm Jim Cummings. Oh, I'm gonna Jim Cumming.
Oh, I'm gonna gym.
I gymmed all over this recording. Welcome, residents, to the Dr. DC podcast. My name is producer Richard, and across from me is the doctor himself.
Get on up on the dance floor. Give that man what he's asking for.
Yeah, no, he rhymed.
Because I feel like busting loose, and I feel like touching you. Yeah.
A little bit of
It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes.
Oh my God, you're getting too deep. Now it's just like a sultry song.
Oh yeah, baby.
So take off all your clothes. I'm getting so hot.
Jeff Bridges.
I'm gonna take off my clothes.
R.I.P.D.
I'm gonna take off my clothes.
Rest in peace, department.
Each week we talk about the weird and wonderful world of DC while fielding questions from listeners.
And it is the last regular episode of normal February. What a normal way to start it off.
We went to Fan Expo. What a normal month.
Yep. I mean, it is now. It's 2 in a row.
I know. You got to subscribe to the Patreon to find out what happened.
Yeah. What did we do there?
You won't last 10 seconds listening to what we did.
Yeah. You won't give $5
You'll barely give $5.
I mean, just describing the Patreon.
Yes.
That's funny. Yeah, we were at Fan Expo this past weekend, which is why this episode is coming out a day late.
Yeah, because we partied too hardy.
I mean, I really just shouldn't have brought recording equipment. I don't know what I was thinking.
Recorded one thing.
I know, but
and we
barely.
were very ready to record it.
I was listening to it. I was like, oof.
Yeah. Maybe not our most stellar. It's a real season 6 episode.
Yeah, we season 6 ourselves over on Ghostfacers.
Yeah. Some say I'm still hungover. So
yeah,
that's the reality of the situation.
It's been said of you
yes.
that you're still hungover.
Yes. So the story goes.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're talking about today.
It's not.
We're talking about forgotten powers.
That's right.
Powers that are not known.
Or they've been dropped from continuity.
Damn.
You know, some of these characters have been around a long.
Superman's Gator.
Well, no, that he did. I don't think he had that. He did have that one pink kryptonite adventure. Although there's a litany of Superman powers that I'm sure we'll talk about.
Yeah. His bridge construction or whatever. Or wall building.
He had masonry vision
yes,
in
that's what it was.
Superman 4, yeah.
Yeah. Things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Things that maybe writers didn't look into what the lore of the character were and did their own thing.
Or because in a certain era, it was just like these were just like rags for kids. They were like, ugh, do I have to actually think of like a way out of this, or be like, he's got another power?
Yes,
or a secret, hitherto unknown power.
That would be a power. Superman's masonry thing. I would love for that to come back in a modern issue.
Masonry vision.
Yeah, I would love for that to just like randomly.
Yeah,
be like it's not.
Yeah, that's just because you want him to build the wall.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, but he's going to make Krypton pay for it.
Yeah.
All right.
All these Kryptonians coming over the border.
That's right, yeah. Undocumented Kryptonians. Well, we got a bunch of questions. Why don't we get them into them?
Let's do it.
Get them into them. Get them.
I feel like busting loose.
And I feel like busting on you.
Yeah.
It's getting white in here.
So white?
Yeah. Because I Nickelodeoned her.
No, man.
Oh, wait. No.
I don't like it.
Yeah, take advantage of a minor? No, I did not do that.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, Nickelodeon's not great.
Good Lord.
Let's go to Twitter.
That's Twitter.
That's right.
Nailed it.
Yeah, you're so good. You just assumed we were going into Facebook. We got no fucking questions from Facebook, so.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Oh my God.
Oh, we went with such different oh my God.
Yeah. There's a few of them out there. First question comes from Truth, Justice, and Hope.
All right.
Who ask, was the giant cellophane S from Superman 2 based on anything from the Silver Age, or was it just something that they made up for the movie? Mr. Cellophane.
Yeah. Somehow not a Chicago reference.
Yeah.
Right. So at the end of Superman 2, Superman dupes Zod, Ursa, and Non into believing he has no powers. Or
yes.
he reverses the polarity of that machine and he strips them of powers.
Sure.
And he has his powers back. And at one point, he grabs the shield off his chest and throws this cellophane. It looks like it's made of lighting gel material.
Yeah.
He throws this S on them, and it kind of half wraps them up, then sort of dissolves, and Zod plummets down a chasm.
Weird.
That only exists in that movie.
Oh, okay. It's not from comics at all.
No, the emblem. I think in the New 52, the emblem was where that Kryptonian armor would come out of.
Oh.
It had a thing. And there's other, I'm stretching a lot here, but in the Amalgam universe, Super Soldier, the shield is the S. That's Captain America and Superman mashed together.
Oh, okay.
He has the S shield. There's been a few things where they're the shield does a thing. But for the most part, it doesn't.
Okay.
And that cellophane thing, I'm positive is only in Superman 2.
It's so funny because there's so many abilities that you could pull from, and instead you did that.
Well, it's kind of a funny thing about Superman because there's stuff that's in the movies and never in the comics. There's stuff that's in the comics that's never in the movies. There's stuff that's in one comic that never shows up again, and a different thing.
Sure.
Superman has a long history of that too, especially between running in actual comics, in strips, in serials, in cartoon. Yeah. There's all sorts of weird deviations of powers for Superman.
Totally. All right. Well, let's go to the next question then. From my favorite name, my wife's boyfriend.
Nice.
I'm one of those too.
Nice. You're your wife's boyfriend?
No, I'm a person's
wife's boyfriend, yeah.
And they ask, in early Green Lantern, Hal turned invisible. Why was that aspect dropped and not the other aspects like not being able to use his power against Yellow?
Yeah, Green Lanterns have had sort of weird powers. We've talked about it before where he's actually made things real, with the ring. So much will that it's not just a construct. He actually makes a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was able to turn invisible. And again, I think it was just a will thing. You could make the argument, if you were playing the retcon game, you could say he's obviously making a construct that's refracting light around. You know what I mean? You could make the argument that he with a construct is doing what Sue Storm would do to be invisible. I think you could write your way around it. It's not the craziest thing in the world, but they don't really use invisibility as a Green Lantern power anymore. But if I recall correctly, the Golden Age Green Lantern also had the ability to walk through walls. The ring would let him phase. It's possible, actually, that Hal could do that too, even in the Silver Age. But I'm positive that Alan Scott could phase through walls, that was part of. Now, his thing's a little bit different, and I'm including retcons here. The Starheart is a little bit more magic, Sure. It's not 100% the same thing. But yeah, Green Lantern has had, other powers that are more than just make a thing out of green.
Yes.
Why did that not stick around? Because invisibility is kind of it's more of a stealth thing, and that's not really how Green Lantern works.
Yeah,
First of all, it's also more of a kind of creepy villain thing. There's not a ton of invisibility superheroes.
Which is unfortunate because you really save money on
outside of Invisible Woman.
Yeah.
Invisible Kid in the Legion.
Yeah.
There's not a ton of invisibility. You know, Martian Manhunter to a degree. There's not a lot of characters that pull off invisibility. Yeah.
All right, next
Jesus,
question.
I almost fell asleep there. Good Lord.
Glad we're creating riveting content.
Listen,
We're still post this weekend.
this weekend really drained me.
Yeah. Yeah, and I really brained you.
Yeah, we went to the brain station. Took you down to the brain station.
All right, next question comes from Office Thon, who asks, you have expressed your hatred for Damian Wayne, but would you consider reading more about him if he permanently or at least temporarily got his powers back?
So 2 things here. Thing number 1, this question implies that I hate him because I don't know enough about him. That's 100% not the case.
Yeah.
Although I will say I've slightly warmed to him a bit. I've been enjoying I've been reading like the whole Lazarus tournament things. I was trying to fill in gaps now that we're into this Lazarus
The Super
planet.
Sons are fun. Like,
I liked Super Sons mostly on the strength of John Kent, I think, but I like
contrast
Damian
is
in
nice,
there.
I think.
And
Yeah.
I've been enjoying the Robin series with the Lazarus tournament and stuff like that. He's still by no means like a loved character of mine or anything like that. Thing number 2, though, is Damian did briefly have powers.
Weird.
So in the New 52, he gets killed by a person called the Heretic, who is an aged up, failed clone of him.
Oh.
The Heretic kills Damian, and Bruce, if you can, I'm gonna ask you to suspend disbelief here. Bruce doesn't take it well.
Really? All right.
And he actually has to he ends up having to retrieve Damian's body from Apocalypse. That's where he wears the Hellbat armor that lets him fight Darkseid, but it sort of like drains his own kind of life force. But when Damian is brought back to life, he has what's it called? Is it called a Chaos Shard or an Omega Shard or something like that? Which is also that's when you've had enough spicy food. You have the Omega Shard.
Yeah, that's right. I kind of had that yesterday.
He gets powers from whatever that thing is, and this was a thing that had appeared in the Batman Superman title and was sort of a little mini thing in the New 52. He had basically strength, durability, some speed, your kind of standard you're a soup kind of superpowers. But they faded over time, and eventually he was left without them. But essentially, this Omega Shard or whatever activated his metagene, and Damian had some powers. I would absolutely not like him more if he got powers back. The powers aren't what make him interesting. The thing that is interesting about Damian, like him or not, is who he is.
Yes.
You know, his
background,
the child of Batman and one of Batman's greatest enemies.
Yeah.
He's the inheritor of, or should be the rightful heir to the League of Assassins and stuff like that. He's trained as an assassin. He has to learn morality later.
Yeah.
He's, he basically had his childhood robbed from him. That's the stuff that's interesting about him, if handled well.
Yes, absolutely.
And I would argue that up until pretty recently, mostly hasn't been handled well. I like the Morrison stuff where Dick is Batman and Damian's his Robin. But as soon as that dynamic, that was fun because the dynamics flipped, right? Because he's a more fun Batman with this really dour Robin. As soon as that's flipped, though, or not flipped, as soon as that's not the case anymore, when Bruce comes back, be like, oh, you guys suck. Those two together are really brutal. There's some nice moments. Bruce obviously cares about him, and I'm not saying there's nothing redeemable there, but I've had a really hard time getting into Damian Wayne.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but I don't think powers would help that. That's not the thing I think I'm missing.
Yeah. All right, next question comes from James Rodriguez, who asks,
You said that rather quickly, like you were ashamed that you couldn't do it right last week.
No,
Say it again. Do it doucement. Do it very slowly.
okay. It's James Rodriguez because he knows his name incorrectly.
Jesus.
Get better at your name.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're going to be singing a lot more country.
Look, I just go where the audience is.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
This damn cancel culture.
They want to make comedy illegal.
Yeah, that's right. All right.
Isn't this funny? Isn't this comedy that we should save?
James asks, what forgotten superpower would you wish to see a feature film be ballsy enough to include?
Ooh. Let's see. A forgotten superpower. It's the power itself isn't forgotten, but the setup of it slightly is.
Okay.
I mean, we've only just gotten our first ever crack at Dr. Fate in a movie.
Yes.
And we've only seen a couple of live action
barely.
Dr. Fates ever.
Yeah.
We don't get a ton of Dr. Fate.
No.
But a thing that I kind of, I like the simplicity of it now that it's the helmet and he puts the helmet on. But the original Dr. Fate in the 40s had 3 items of power. He had the helmet of fate, the amulet of Anubis, and the cloak of destiny or whatever it was called.
Sure.
Pretty sure the cloak made him fly. The amulet could do some other, like had a specific kind of magic purpose, and the helmet housed Naboo and all the wisdom,
Sure.
and a lot of magic and stuff like that. I think there's something kind of interesting that it would be neat to bring back of that,
Yeah.
especially because like Doctor Strange later. Dr. Fate, he also has the Tower of Fate. He has all these mystical artifacts. He's the sorcerer, It'd be cool to have him have different items that kind of do different things. Although, as I'm saying it out loud, the general public would be even more so, would be like rip off of Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
But there is a part of me that, like, I think that's the thing I like also about Doctor Strange is, there's magic in him, but it's also, there's these, like his cape and his, the Eye of Agamotto or whatever. Like, I like the other things. This cauldron does this or this whatever. Like, I like that kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
That I think would be kind of fun for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then you can also, like, you play around with, like, what happens if one of these things is missing.
Mm-hmm.
What does it do to his powers if, like, in a battle he loses the amulet, but he still has the helm? Like,
Yeah.
especially a character with so much power, it might be a way to kind of invite a little bit more creativity of why haven't they just solved this, or that kind of shit.
Absolutely.
What about you?
Masonry vision, I already said.
Oh, right, of course. The Superman 4 masonry vision.
Yeah, have the balls to do it again.
Yeah.
Or, you know what? Like, freeze breath. I don't know if we've gotten freeze breath from Superman in a while.
It's actually in both versions of the Justice League movie, if you can believe it.
Oh, yeah.
Which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Of all of the things to say about that movie, it's like that the fact that they even bother to include freeze breath, it's such like a throwaway. It's like, why did you do this?
Is there any weird, like, Aquaman abilities we haven't gotten?
Aquaman.
He feels like a character that they would have thrown some weird shit out there.
I mean, there's been some weird applications of his powers. Like his telepathy. That he could push it beyond just marine animals or things like that. Like, that's a little interesting. When he had the water bearer hand, there was like hydrokinesis kind of stuff. But Mira generally has that covered now.
Yeah. And we want to see lots of her.
And I'm sure we will. Yeah, did Aquaman have any weird... I mean, it's not really... like, the weird things of Aquaman's that I think have been dropped are more like in the weakness category, like everyone had an arbitrary weakness, and Aquaman's was like, if I don't taste the sweet, salty sea every
taste sweet, salty semen.
Yeah, once every 24 hours.
He has the superpower to make someone else royalty so that he can then be with them.
Wait a minute. I'm the king.
Yeah. I can make you king.
Is this a trick?
Yeah.
He can suss out tricks.
Yeah.
I'd bring that power back. Aquaman sussing out tricks.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next question comes from Greg Fine.
Oh, yeah. He's not just okay. He's fine.
Normal February.
Greg Fine presents Normal February.
So, Greg asks, does Hawkman still talk to birds? It's a big factor in his first Silver Age adventure.
Yeah, and weirdly, I don't think it was a thing in the Golden Age. Some Jaffe or someone else might correct me there, but I'm pretty sure that's a Qatar Hall, like a Thanagarian thing, was that he could communicate with birds. In the old Filmation cartoons, he has a pet called Skrill.
Oh, yes, I do remember this.
That he talks to,
yes.
that helps him out. Yeah, he could communicate with birds, and I can't remember if it was like a function of the nth metal, because nth metal, it's always hard for me to parse out when these like things are retcons or whatever. Nth metal has a sort of psychic component to it. It's like a psychic metal.
Okay.
So he can control it a bit. I think that's a later addition, but I don't remember if that was part of why he could talk to birds, or if it was like that Thanagarians had a sort of like spiritual connection to birds in general. Or it was like a piece of technology in his helmet. I truly don't remember what the setup was that allowed him to talk to birds, but he could do it. But it is a bit weird to me that's the Silver Age thing when they're space alien like cops and not like a Golden Age thing, and you make it that like it's tied more to the Egyptology stuff, or like maybe he has some sort of like bird deity kind of power imparted on him, or the fact that like that this talking to birds thing is like how much do they go into that stuff in Hawkworld? That's a bit I don't remember either, actually. Because for a bit, they actually kind of were like bird deities, like bird gods.
Oh.
That's later in like one of many attempts to make their shit make sense. So some version of that does actually end up happening, but that's not what the Silver Age. It was just literally that Hawkman could be like, "Fly, my friends," like Aquaman essentially, but just in the sky.
Because he was Hawkman.
Yeah.
Dumb.
No, what a great power to have.
Mm-hmm. Birds.
Yeah. Quick, shit on Shadow Thief's car.
All right. Next question comes from Lionel Lorca or Lionel?
Probably Lionel
Lorca, who asks, should Superman have super ventriloquism again?
Yeah, one of Superman's many discarded superpowers. One of them was super ventriloquism.
It was more of just that he could throw his voice,
but he could do it so fucking good.
Yes, I mean more of like.
I think the implication by calling it super ventriloquism is not just that Superman had a ventriloquist ability. I think it was probably the idea that like, if they were to explain it the way we explain things in the modern day, is that his Kryptonian physiology like allowed him to like truly perfectly throw his voice, not just kind of like how people do. But that like because he's also stronger than us and faster than us, he could actually do that better. He could also like disguise his voice. He could like put on voices.
Oh, do you mean like Matches Malone?
Oh my God.
Yes.
Hey, have you seen Bruce or Batman?
I would. Who would think that I would?
Certainly not together.
No, that's crazy.
It's me, Matches Wayne Malone.
Yeah.
Wallone.
Yeah.
Sometimes I turn the M upside down.
I'm very rich. I mean, impoverished.
Yeah, I'm rich in crime.
Yes, crime. I'm very good at crime.
Anyway, where is the crime tonight, boys?
Yeah, I'm looking for some sweet, sweet crime.
Superman, speaking of disguising, he briefly had the ability, this is probably in the 50s or 60s, he had the ability to like change his face.
Lucky Lois.
He could like mold his face into a different shape. Like not like cube or anything, but I just mean like he could like alter his features. And I don't remember what the setup is of that. But he could do it. So he could both throw his voice, change his voice, and he could also change his face.
Lucky Lois.
Oh, the question is, do I think they should bring it back?
Yeah.
I mean, I actually do think there's probably practical application for it. Or, you know, like you're in a battle, he throws his voice, the bad guys turn around, he sneaks in. Like, I don't think of all of his crazy powers, that's not the craziest.
God, no.
It's definitely one you could, you know, you could kind of tongue in cheek, but you could totally make it work earnestly, I think, still in a comic.
100%.
It's not the craziest thing to do.
No, not at all.
It's less crazy than super weaving, which he also had.
Pardon?
He was great at fucking weaving. Give that guy a loom, watch out.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what made him super about it other than just being faster. Like, I don't know if he was inherently a better weaver or if he was just faster than... It was just his super speed and he was using it for weaving. But I do remember seeing a panel that described him as having super weaving ability.
And by that he was really good at finding Mr. Anderson.
Yeah, he was a super weaving.
Yeah, super Hugo weaving.
Yeah.
Worth it.
Yeah. Humanity's a virus.
All right, we're leaving Twitter and getting over to the Instagram.
Now we're going to Instagram, take some questions and answer them.
First question comes from the Multi-Sanchez, who asks, does Superman still have amnesia kiss powers? Oh, yeah, God. Or was that just in Superman 2? Oof, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Superman 2 does a few weird things. So the amnesia kiss is one.
Yikes.
This is a power that does not, I mean, again, Jaffe, correct me, but I feel relatively confident saying the amnesia kiss does not appear in the comics ever, nor does it appear again in any other movie. It's only in Superman 2, and it's only just arbitrarily, just because over the course of that movie, Lois figures out who he is, because of course she does, because how could she not?
Yes. At least well-kept secret.
But he gives her a kiss, and then she forgets. Jesus. She forgets that he's Superman and all this kind of stuff. You sort of like pleasantly reset the status quo at the end.
Yes.
Leaving aside the obvious problematic element of having a power where you kiss someone and then they forget how they ended up in that situation.
Boy.
Setting that aside, I'm not even sure like what the idea of that was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Other than just saying like we need something to happen. Or like, is it supposed to read more like these dizzy dames? You give them a smooch, they'll fucking forget. They don't like all they want is a smooch.
I guess.
Like, I don't know if it's supposed to read like a misogyny kind of thing.
Feels like
or if it's supposed to be an actual power. I can't even remember really if Superman is like surprised. I don't think he is. I think it's like deliberate.
He's like, yeah, she knew what she was getting.
It's really weird. There's a funny Robot Chicken sketch where Superman, he gives Lois the kiss and she doesn't remember that he's Clark. And he goes, man, I got to use this power more often. And then it's just a montage of him like kissing like Brainiac, kissing Luthor. Like, I can't remember why I hate you. It's just him going around giving kisses to all of his villains.
That's really funny.
It's just a pretty funny sketch.
I like that.
Yeah, pretty sure it's only in Superman 2. But yes, the movies have several weird Superman powers, including Amnesia Kiss, Cellophane S, Masonry Vision. Oh, can I ask you a question?
Uh-huh.
So a lot of people point to the first Superman movie. You remember in that movie, he stops the like missile, but Lois dies in the earthquake or something like that.
Yeah.
And he goes, and he flies back in time.
Yeah.
And he saves Lois.
Yes.
in that sequence, he's like flying around the Earth the opposite of the way it spins.
Yeah.
And you see the Earth slow down and then move backward. I see a lot of people read that like literally, like he's flying so fast that it reverses like the Earth.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
But if you just spun the Earth the other way, time doesn't go backwards.
No,
but I read so many people that are like, yeah, he flew so fast that it spun the Earth back, and it's like I'm pretty sure it's just a visual representation of time turning back because he's flying quickly, not that he's like enacting a physical force on the Earth.
Oh, I thought that
the physical force thing. Yeah, but if you just spun the Earth the other way, time wouldn't go backwards.
Yeah, also, fucking aliens don't get power from the sun and can like lift buildings, like.
Do you read comics?
Like, I think it's fine for them to do a stupid thing and to that also be the case.
It's not fine. I'm not okay.
Okay, trust me.
Oh yeah.
I'm in a real like emo music phase right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stuff's going on and I'm reverting back to my childhood. I don't understand what the problem is.
Uh-oh. You're about to start a band.
Oh my God, don't even start. If I have my gear. Fuck yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right, let's go to the next question.
Sure.
From That D the Geek.
Oh.
Yeah. Give him.
That D the Geek.
Oh, yeah. Can speedsters still make themselves invisible? I saw Jay do it in the Golden Age issues, but can't recall any recent stories with that skill.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a reason to think that they can't.
Yeah.
Certainly they can move so fast. I've brought this up a few times before. They can move so fast that people don't see that they have moved. There was a thing in like some old Flash comics that I have in my collection where as Barry, he would move and do things quickly before his like after image dissipated.
Oh,
he could like get back before anyone could visually clock
that he had left
at all, which is in a sense a sort of invisibility. We also know from more modern like this speed mirage power, even on the show, that they could do speed mirages, which move quickly between multiple points to be visible in those places. I don't see why you couldn't do the opposite, though, too, which is just constantly move so fast that you don't actually register an image anywhere.
Yeah.
Now, the thing, in terms of the representation of that, is the representation of the speedsters now, using the Speed Force, is like lightning fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
So even if you imagine that that's more for our benefit than like people seeing lightning in Central City, I think it's harder to imagine them being invisible in terms of the visual language of the comics than the old Jay adventures or the old Barry adventures, where lightning wasn't part of it other than being a symbol on his chest, or getting struck by lightning.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't part of it. He was just fast.
Yeah.
So you would just see, and you'd see this like faded image. Like I think you could. It was more likely to convince you that he could be invisible than with like, in a fucking lightning storm every time he moves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next question from Not About Andy, who asks, does Jimmy Olsen have superpowers in the current continuity, like the ones he had in the Silver Age?
I mean, Jimmy, oh God. Just like Lois had her own book of adventures, Jimmy had his own book of adventures.
My favorites.
And they, lots of weird, wacky things, and
love the amount of shit that's happened to Jimmy Olsen is probably more than some, like maybe any character in the DC universe.
Yeah, he'd get turned into like a turtle monster, or he'd get some wacky version of Superman's powers, or he'd get like shot in the head in the desert, like in that one movie.
Oh my God. Yes.
He the way things stand currently, Jimmy does not have active, like, ongoing superpowers. But there was that Jimmy Olsen series. Was that a Lieber joint? A Steve Lieber joint? There was that Jimmy Olsen series. Is that Fraction and Lieber? And I feel like that series was kind of homaging stuff. So he probably got powers through the course of that. But nothing that's like nothing that sticks around. Jimmy only ever gets powers sort of temporarily and sort of under weird circumstances and in the context of a very specific story or something like that. Jimmy has never really gotten particularly to just keep powers. For a bit, he had a thing where he was called Mr. Action or something, and he would only get powers when he was like in danger or when something was, and he'd only get the powers he needed. But even that, like, that's not a default state for him. Jimmy doesn't just have that. Weird. That was just like a thing that happened for a little bit for him. So no, he probably doesn't have powers right now. And truly, I mean, I've forgotten most of the powers he's ever gotten because they were like story to story. Yeah, that's exactly it. It has a sort of dial H quality to it. Yeah.
Next question comes from the Iceman Customs.
No setup? Man, you've changed.
I'm just in a lot of pain right now.
Goodness. Emotionally? Or?
No, digestively.
Nice.
I'm just like, and I haven't even like eaten anything today. I had like I eat like, not like you. Like I actually haven't eaten anything today.
Fuck you.
I had like a bagel and smoked. You can't be mad at a thing that has happened.
I haven't eaten today either, other than dinner.
That's it.
I made nachos for dinner.
And that's it.
I had a turkey sandwich at lunch.
I stand by what I said.
And I had an edamame salad. And I had one of those like tiger brownies.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, and I had a Lindt chocolate bar. And I've had some Bannock. And one granola bar.
Holy shit. Every time.
I think that's it. But that's it, though.
Yeah, that's it, though. I had a bagel with smoked salmon. I had a salad with chicken.
Okay.
And I had a like a grocery store like chicken korma thing, and that was it. And some almonds.
Yeah, see? So you do it too.
Yeah.
Our lists were the same.
Yeah, the exact same. Iceman Customs asks,
God damn it.
Does Animal Man still have his alien-derived powers?
Right. So Animal Man, in his original like first appearances and original sort of setup, he gets his powers from like an alien radiation. He meets these aliens in the woods and then they crash and he gets animal powers from them. The retcon of that later in the New 52 is that he actually gets his powers from the Red. But the Red believes that it's a little too high concept and his brain won't be able to understand it. So they manufacture the alien thing as a cover story because they figured that's easier for him to digest than the nature of
I wish somebody would give me that right now. Something easier to digest.
Jesus. So his powers didn't necessarily change per se. They retconned the origin of them, so they weren't really alien at all. I mean, I think if we're talking abilities and stuff for Animal Man, the big one is that during that Morrison run, Animal Man like fucks with reality a lot.
Wow.
He can he ends up between panels and in the real world, and he meets Morrison, and
yes,
I think he uncreates someone, like they solve a thing by meta undoing their existence or something like that. I don't know if that was an inherent ability that he gained from that adventure or not, though.
Oh, okay.
Or if that was just
for that one
because it was a meta thing. I don't know if he actually gained a reality power there.
Sure.
But that's the closest I could think of to a sort of forgotten or now defunct kind of Animal Man ability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next question comes from Liam K. Willis, who asks, Martian Manhunter magnetism, Wonder Woman super breath, dark side telepathy and telekinesis. Any forgotten power you wish had stayed with the character?
Right. Martian Manhunter did briefly have kind of like Magneto powers. It's only referenced in a few stories or something like that.
Oh, weird.
And interestingly, like Martian Manhunter sometimes has some like minor telekinesis.
Yes.
On Young Justice and a show like that, he's got like full telekinesis.
Yeah.
Him and Miss Martian are just telekinetic.
Yeah.
It's a little toned down in the comics. He's very obviously telepathic, shapeshift, intangibility, all of those things. The telekinesis is usually a pretty low or forgotten kind of power of his. And also the magnetism thing, like if you have telekinesis, then it's just more versatile. The magnetism thing is being telekinetic on one type of material.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, Darkseid did have a sort of brief telepathy. Telekinesis thing. Which I think kind of undermines the anti-life equation thing.
Yeah.
If you already have telepathy, surely you could just hone your own power if you have the power of Darkseid. You don't really need the anti-life equation, you know? That is what I would think. What was the Wonder Woman one that they mentioned?
It was Wonder Woman breath.
Oh,
super breath?
She basically had a super breath. She could like breathe really strong and knock people over and stuff. Or
she could fucking blow.
Man, suck.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Wonder Woman. But I think that's those ones, like with the super weaving thing, that feels slightly less like its own power and more just like a product of them being so physically formidable that they could do this stuff even with their breath. Superman also has like a freeze breath.
Yeah.
Like he has super breath, which is just being Superman and being able to blow strong wind.
Yeah.
But then he also has freeze breath, an actual power.
Yeah.
So Wonder Woman didn't have that. Is there one I'd want to stick around or one to come back?
Is there one that you had stayed with the character?
One that I wanted to stay with the character. I mean, maybe Hawkman talking to birds.
Really?
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's dumb, but
you love dumb.
I do kind of love dumb. And also, you know, with him reincarnating across time and space and the multiverse, and being, you know, part of these, his first life was part of these Deathbringers that have a kind of very bird motif and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think that works. That might be a kind of stupid one to stick around.
Sure.
Yeah.
Next question comes from Edward Wynn, who asks, could Superman fly in the beginning? If so, why do they say can leap tall buildings?
No, he could not. So this is sort of a reverse scenario where we forget that he didn't always have this power.
Yeah.
Flight was not one of Superman's original powers. He was faster than a locomotive.
Faster than a speeding bullet, wasn't it, or no?
No. It was different.
I thought it was stronger than a locomotive, faster than a speed. No?
Maybe. Yes, maybe. But he could leap tall buildings in a single bound.
Yes, I remember that.
And it's not until, I'm going to get this right, I think it's the Fleischer Superman cartoons.
Yeah.
Where, because I think in the first one, or the first couple of them, he doesn't fly.
Yeah.
You just see him leap. And then they decided they liked the idea of flying.
Yeah.
Just because, like, we need him to do this for the whatever. And then that ended up sticking. I think it actually starts in those Fleischer cartoons and then moves to the comics in the way that Kryptonite started on one of like the radio serials and then moved to the comics. But no, initially Superman was not able to fly. He just was so strong. And oh my God, Jesus.
Starting to sound like that Ghost Phasers episode.
I mean, I truly almost like passed out at my test today, but not like pass out like the way I do. Just like I was just tired.
Yeah. Not the fun way.
Yeah, no, sorry. Superman was just so strong in that he could just jump. Was the idea that his muscles were so strong.
Totally.
But he's flown since the 40s. Like it didn't take long for that to be a power. It's not like you're going to go back and read something in the 60s and be like, you still can't fly.
Yes.
You know.
All right. Let's leave Instagram and head on over to the doc score.
Oh, it's getting doxy in here.
Yeah.
So take off all your scored.
I am
Get
getting
into docs. I'm going to score my doc scored.
Yeah. First question comes from Mullet Overlord, who asks, do Dick Grayson's sick guitar skills from his college days count as a forgotten power?
Oh, yeah. Who could forget, though? He's so fucking good at guitar.
Yeah. Do we actually see him play, or is it just like in his room?
No, you see him play in some of those old comics.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think if Dick has any other kind of like secret skills that we don't remember. So much of it is just like, I trained with Batman, so like, you know, he's observant and smart and well read, and like I'm trying to think of like what's like a forgotten skill. I don't think he has any contortionist kind of thing, like even from the circus. He's just very flexible and limber and stuff. Easy
that ass.
He might be double jointed or something in one way or something.
Yeah.
That I don't remember. I mean, yeah, he has the greatest superpower of all, which is being dummy thick.
Yeah. Daddy thick.
Yeah. Do you know who else? You know what's funny though is that guitar playing thing doesn't really come out even like in Dark Knight's Metal or Death Metal, where there's this whole sort of like dreamscape that Batman has, and it's like the whole Bat family and stuff hanging out, and John and Damian are playing guitars, and like it's supposed to be them out at a campfire, this kind of like ideal, awesome time or whatever. Dick's not part of it. Like he's not also rocking it. Like
weird.
I think we do. I think it's the right to bring it up in the context of this episode on like forgotten abilities. So I do think we leave Dick's musical ability in the past.
So look, sometimes man, you rock too hard when you're young and you can't do it as an adult.
Yeah, I'm picturing like him on the Teen Titans just singing fucking "Hey There, Delilah" to Starfire.
Oh my god.
Yeah, or Crash Into Me or something.
Crash into me.
Maybe if I gone overboard and
I definitely had a phase.
Yeah, everyone did.
Yeah,
because it's easy to just strum along too. You don't have to do too.
It's also just like
crazy.
So goddamn chill.
Yeah. I could play Crash Into Me. I could play some like kind of standard, like strummy campfire
was
guitar
he one that
shit.
just had like weird tunings? Was he one of those guys? Yeah.
Dave Matthews?
Yeah.
Sometimes it was like there was other stuff to it, but that one's a pretty simple one. Yeah, what else could I mean, a lot of kind of campfire stuff, a lot of Wonderwall, you know, like that kind of shit. I could play "Hey There, Delilah."
Oh, sure.
You know, like
yeah.
I could play "Dust in the Wind."
Really?
Yeah.
I did learn the beginning of a Creed song because it's just funny to start playing.
That like
the one I know it's like the one that's like
hold me now.
I'm
6 feet from the edge.
Yeah,
that one.
Yeah. Anyways, next question, JK, but for real. Next question comes from JK.
Oh my god.
Who asks, for a brief moment, During Brian Hitch's run on Justice League, Wonder Woman had the ability to wield lightning, though we never really saw how or why it wasn't used anywhere else in the main continuity to my knowledge. Do you think that power fits with a character like Diana?
If I'm remembering correctly, which
Was
is
this the whole fact that she's the daughter of Zeus?
well, this is where I'm trying to place this in the timeline, and I don't know if this is pre-Rebirth or not. Because in Rebirth, they sort of walk back the Zeus thing a bit. But if we take the Zeus thing for granted, it does make a certain degree of sense for her to be able to like fucks around with lightning.
Yeah.
Frankly, even if she isn't literally the daughter of Zeus, if Zeus is the one that like, I mean, because even that was kind of like a compromisey sort of thing for a bit. Zeus is the one that like brings the clay to life, which is not in the original one either. But it would still make a certain degree of sense as a sort of demigod that she would be able to do some stuff like that. We don't see it too much during the Wonder Woman run in the New 52, and I think mostly that's because A, Zeus isn't around particularly. He's missing. And so we're not really messing with Zeus's powers particularly. And also, she ends up killing Ares and becoming the god of war. So we're so focused on that, on Diana as a god of war, that we don't really explore, well, if she's Zeus's daughter, can she thunderbolt? You know, like we don't really dive into that. That Hitch run, I can't really remember. Where does that fit? Because it sort of was happening concurrently to other things. Yeah, shoot. It's probably before Rebirth, but truly, I'm having a hard time with that. But I would imagine that it's roughly connected to the Zeus thing. That's the idea. I think there's like, if it doesn't really matter if you like the Zeus thing or not that they did, where they made her father literally Zeus. But that makes sense for her to then have some sort of like partial lightning adjacent ability. At the very least, the ability to like hold it, you know, manipulate, even if it's not like a core power of hers. I think that makes sense. Yeah. It doesn't bother me.
All right.
I wouldn't want to see it all the time, though, especially because who has the power of Zeus?
Yeah.
It's fucking Shazam.
Yeah.
That, like, he's the one that should be fucking around with lightning. Yeah. So, yeah, it's fine as, like, a once-in-a-while thing because we're making this connection. But I would never want that to be a, like, oh, yeah, and another thing that Wonder Woman does is lightning shit.
Okay. Next question comes from Which Devil Sorcerer, who asks, whatever happened to Doc's ability to have edit points in the episode?
Oh, it got better.
If anything, yeah, you
don't even know most of the time.
Yeah, you make every episode worse by going in and re-exporting it and re-uploading it.
I mean, you wouldn't know. You don't listen. No one said anything.
No, but if you're ever wondering why an episode's not good, it's not because of me.
Yeah, all right. Oh, yeah.
That's
convenient.
Anytime.
I don't know. People were loving those episodes of me and Josh.
By all means.
No.
Well, I thought this is the last year of the podcast.
Yeah, hashtag last year of the podcast.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, but I want to be the one to leave you.
Oh. Yeah, hard to leave me if I'm not even really here.
Well.
Trust me.
Uh-oh.
Last question comes from First Mage.
No, I'm not done with that one.
All right, Daddy.
In the early days, I would just say edit point.
In hopes that something would happen.
Largely in hopes, but sometimes with like very insistent eyes while we were recording. I'd be like, edit that out.
And I definitely did.
Well, you just heard the ones that he didn't, but there were quite a few that I made you edit.
I wouldn't say quite a few.
There were
a handful.
There were a handful. Now I just wait until you upload the episode, and if a thing has been bothering me, if we like. It's either I get a thing
so
wrong that it's like I don't need everyone getting into my like I've never re-recorded. Like there's no version where I've gone in and inserted the right answer. Like I'll just cut something really if I say something real stupid like everyone knows it's orange kryptonite that kills Superman.
Sure.
I'll just take that out. I've never gone and re-recorded like green and like put it over the. I've never done that.
No, you bleep something.
I've bleeped stuff, and it's sometimes just because we do like the word association brand of humor.
Oh.
Sometimes I say a thing and I feel gross about it later, and I go, "That's actually not that funny." I'll go take it out.
You don't take out things that I say, do you?
I'll never tell.
Oh my God.
But truly, though, you guys don't know, for the most part, when I do that anymore.
Yeah.
But I'll say it's 1 in every 5 episodes.
What?
Something.
Good God.
Yeah.
Do your fucking research. Bruno was right.
Well, no, I don't mean I get something wrong everything. For the record, I want to say, I love Bruno. But like, if you want to be right about something, just go like read it somewhere. I don't know what to tell you. We're here for a good time, baby.
Yeah, not
It's
a long time.
It's a podcast, and you fucking freaks are all here just to have a good time.
That's right. Last question from First Mate.
Hey, and another thing.
All right.
No, I don't have anything else.
I
don't have anything else.
Were Miss Arrowette's feminine trick arrows an idea that could be updated and used in modern comics? What would that look like?
Oh, right.
Miss Arrowette's feminine. I don't know what that means.
Miss Arrowette was kind of like an arrow adjacent character. Yeah. So Green Arrow had trick arrows. He had like the boxing glove arrow, or like the freezing arrow, or a glue arrow. You know what I mean? Like he had all the trick arrows. Miss Arrowette had ones that would do. It would be like a hair tie arrow, or like a bubble bath arrow,
God.
or like it was like bullshit. Like it was like stupid stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's so much like a forgotten power or ability, or just like a really gross thing that was written.
Yeah.
But I am trying to think just generally about like forgotten abilities of trick arrows. I mean, Miss Arrowette's stuff is almost certainly mostly forgotten, because it would be like, yeah, like shampoo arrow.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Green Arrow, we've kind of gotten him down to like some kind of core ones. Explosive arrows, your non-lethal ones, like the net arrow, your grapple arrows, freeze arrow, like plug into a computer arrow. There's like a few different ones that are pretty. Boxing glove arrow, of course, glue arrow, gas arrow. I'm sure. Do you know what? I don't usually do this, but I'm interested in trick arrows. Let's pull it up and let's see. Let's see what some of the trick arrows are. We'll see what some of the forgotten ones are, because I'm sure there's a ton. Because Green Arrow's been around for a very long time. So let's see. Trick arrows. Bleach bottle arrow. During one of the lower moments of Oliver Queen's life, he was forced to use a bleach bottle as an arrowhead to fend off a group of muggers. Yeah, boxing glove, flash grenade arrow, Greek fire arrow.
What?
Glue arrow, a phantom zone arrow. Oh, interesting. Oh yeah, I remember this. Yeah, okay. An atomic arrow. Oh, here we go. Here's a good list. An acetylene torch arrow, an acid arrow, an anchor arrow, an anti-atom arrow, an anti-gravitation arrow, anti-missile arrow, an antler arrow, armor piercing, an aurora borealis arrow.
What?
The aurora borealis, contained entirely within your kitchen.
Aurora Boreal.
There we go. Yeah. A billiard stick arrow. A bottle of water. A chloroform arrow. Uh-oh.
Yikes.
Yeah. There's all. I mean, Jesus. There's so many here. This one's just called a fake uranium arrow. I don't know why you need fake uranium.
Fake uranium arrow. Jesus.
Yeah, God, so many. That's a gun neutralizer arrow. That's the one that like goes into a barrel of a gun.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these would be forgotten, I think. A mummy arrow. I assume that would wrap people in bandages or something.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah. Well, there's a mummy arrow and a sorry arrow.
Yeah. A mummy arrow and a mommy arrow.
We got a squirt gun arrow.
I think you were talking about the mommy one still.
Uh-oh. A 2-stage rocket arrow. So funny.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then the Miss Arrowette ones that I was talking about.
Yeah.
Bubble bath arrow, a hairnet arrow, a hairpin arrow, a hair tint arrow, a kerchief arrow, a lotion arrow. Oh.
How are they arrows though?
A mascara arrow,
Shoot it right in the fucking
Fire
face.
an arrow right into someone's eye. They can't see, but god damn it, their lashes look good.
Like what the fuck?
A mirror arrow. And I don't know that I think the thing with these is that they weren't necessarily being fired. It was that you'd pull them out of the thing and like take like the tip
I thought
off
it was maybe
and
like
use it.
she was like watching someone take a bath and like shot the bubble bath arrow and it turned it into a bubble bath.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Yeah.
I never said thank you, and you'll never have to.
You have cleaned this city.
You have failed this bath time.
So funny.
Yeah, a bunch of trick arrows have been forgotten. I think we're basically down to probably like 10
Sure.
kind of standard in the way that we kind of have like 10 sort of expected utility belt gadgets for Batman. You know, there's always a story where there's a weird extra one or something, but for the most part, you go like, what's a typical patrol night for these characters? You imagine what he puts in his quiver. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was the last question. If you'd like to ask a question for next week's episode.
Where the fuck's the game, man?
Oh, well, it's a problem is like I left it in Vancouver, so I gotta get the new stuff.
No, do you know what? We talked about this all weekend long. How good we are at comedy, at improv. I think we could just do it. Let's just do a game.
No, it involves
me and you, man.
Stuff.
Yeah. I think we should just do it.
So
Come up with a game now.
No, I have the game.
Let's do it. Well, at least walk us through the game then. Yeah.
Well, no, because
we'll play it next week, but you can like tell us.
But that's a
about
surprise.
It. No, I mean you could tell us what the game is. I think.
I don't. That ruins it. That's all part of the reveal. So, next week's episode.
I was just chirping you for your improbability.
Yeah,
and I was like, can I come up with a game? And no.
Nope.
You better have one next week.
How could I not? What could possibly stop me from happening next week?
I mean, truly, at this point, I don't know.
Anything's possible, but we'll see. What is the theme next week?
Oh, shit. What is the theme next week?
Yeah, a thing that you just have ready and available, right? That you prepare in advance and so you know.
This is backfiring.
You know, because we're professional and good at this.
Oh, no. Oh, no. It's all coming back to bite me. Oh,
it's all coming back to me now.
There were moments of gold and there was something right here. There was...
nights are so cold.
I actually don't remember. But it's episode 365, so you better bet your boy's going to try and find some sort of fun thing to do there.
It's episode what?
365.
Oh.
There are 365 days in a year.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll just call it right now then. Next week.
Wow. Okay. He's calling a shot.
We're going to talk about any year one story.
Oh.
Could be Batman year one. Could be year one arc from Wonder Woman.
Sure.
Could be Flash year one.
Yeah.
Batgirl year one. Any year one.
Yeah, that's how long
story.
we've been doing the podcast.
Only one.
Yeah. If we recorded every day.
Every day. Yeah. So yeah, you can send your questions for that. There. See, I fucking figured it out. Now where's my fucking game?
You'll see it next year.
Wow. You backed off from next week so hard.
I was going with the annual thing. It was a note. Well, you can send those questions to our Facebook,
Dr. DC Podcast.
our Twitter,
At Dr. DC.
our Instagram,
Dr. DC Podcast.
our email,
Dr. DC Podcast at gmail.com.
social media guest Reddit,
r/Dr_DC.
and special guest Doc Phone.
208-917-3238.
That's 28917 DCEU.
If you're nasty.
We are on TikTok.
Yeah, at Dr. DC.
Not for like producing content, but really just lurking.
A lot of lurking.
Yeah.
Although I will say my TikTok For You page is like considerably less horny lately. It's a lot more funny than it is horny.
That sounds like not good.
Yeah, I think this is probably the last year.
I need to start sending you more content. I think that's what it is.
Oh.
It should be a For Us page.
Oh no.
I mean, it was
For
a
Us
while.
later page. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure website's still up.
Yeah, drdcpodcast.com or .ca. Man, you're so good at producing.
I know. This is what I do, baby.
Jesus.
It's not like anything else in my life's going on.
I mean, there's probably less going on.
I don't know. The last couple days have been a lot.
I mean, that's mostly by choice.
All of it is by choice.
Well,
It sounds like it's a you problem.
I don't want to put too fine a point on it, but
What?
sort of sounds like that's, yeah.
I think
That's
we,
on you, baby.
I think we get 5-star reviews, but we haven't talked about them for a while.
I just forgot to put one in this week, but there are a couple. So,
Yeah. But so usually we would read them on the show if somebody had they're part of the job.
How fucking dare you?
But it's fine. It's fine. We can't all show up to the table with the things that we said we would.
What do you mean we can't all? I'm the only one showing up to the table. It's my table.
Yeah, but it's all my stuff.
Well, some of it lives here now.
Look, and it could stay as long as it.
Yeah, you know, if the studio doesn't feel safe anywhere else,
Yeah.
the studio could be here.
The studio can't find somewhere else to go in a few months. The studio might have to come.
Here's
here.
the thing: the studio is family, and we can accommodate the studio,
Well, I appreciate,
but not the studio's dog.
yeah.
I just want to be real clear.
Smooth.
Yeah, I'm definitely talking about the studio.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Studio.
Yeah. Nice. Studio. We've got a Patreon you should subscribe to.
Yeah. Patreon.com/DrDC. $1, $5, $7 levels, and they all give you access to the Doc Squad, our awesome fan community. We're wrapping up normal February with bonus episodes and stuff like that. We're going to be talking about our weekend trip down to Vancouver. We were down at Fan Expo.
You won't believe what happened.
Yeah. You won't last 10 minutes hearing what we did in Vancouver.
Because it's good.
Yeah, I'll give you a quick tease to sort of,
Oh, okay.
tickle the genitals.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
The tease is Richard and I went on a couple of dates,
Yeah.
like truly,
Yeah.
like actual dates.
Yeah. And Michael Rooker had the craziest panel I've ever
Michael
seen.
Rooker almost like blew up the concept of a con at this thing.
So you'll only hear about that content.
Yeah, and
we had a man booed so hard he left the convention.
Oh yeah, we booed a convention goer so hard that he left.
I almost created a riot.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
And I met Riker.
All of that.
All
more.
of this and more.
But
and we went to a bar that you could only get into through like a seedy like metal door.
Yeah. We have another podcast.
Ghostfacers, a Supernatural rewatch. We go through every single episode of the CW Supernatural, and we are almost through season 6.
That's right.
And we talk about real world monster lore, behind the scenes stuff about the episodes. It's a ton of fun, except for the most recent episode, which is like, if you can imagine, like even less energy than we've got right now.
It's serviceable. It got the
fine.
job done.
It's fine.
It's better than some first season episodes we put out.
I suppose. Actually, it might be.
Yeah.
But that's just because we're so fucking good at our jobs.
God, we're so fucking good.
Oh, we're so good.
Oh my God. Well, that is it for this week.
Adios.
Ciao, ciao.
All the superheroes, they always fight for what is right. Live with danger and adventure, they are men of might.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.